Welcome back, everybody. We are the Samurai Reviews with your hosts. We have Brett and Josh. We are here to review the movie Terminator: Dark Fate.
Terminator 25.
Let me tell you, it was quite a movie. Lots to discuss about. But first, before we do, please hit that subscribe button down below. Doing so does help a ton. Follow and keep updated with our posts at Samurai Reviews 0, our Instagram. You can follow us there. One last thing before we do get into review video. This review video is brought to you by Kazuya Cam Production. It is a filming production locally here in Utah. Check out their website and all their projects and all the stuff that they produce. Link is provided down below in the description, as well as all of their social media that you can also follow. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get back to the review, where we typically like to start things off with our non-spoiler and then our spoiler, but we're going to change it up a little bit just because it was a pretty big 2 weeks of watching 3 movies. We have Terminator, Dark Fate, Jojo Rabbit, and Harriet.
Yeah, so we were a little busy. We have a lot on our minds, and so we're going to try and change things up for you guys per request of shortening some of them. So we're going to kind of do a quick non-spoiler as quick as we can, and then we're going to go into a discussion on a separate video that will be posted on the page as well, and that'll be spoiler related and just discussion based. So for this video, we're just doing non-spoiler, short take on it, tell you if you need to see it or not.
If you get confused, just look at the description below. Timestamps will be provided, so you can always skip around to wherever you want to watch within our review video. I'm just going to take the lead, if that's okay with you. My rating for this is probably a 4. It was just, I would like to describe this movie as just an action-packed movie. Like, it's just so far packed and shoved in this movie that you just want to throw up in the end.
It's very like if you like shallow action movies, this one.
There's no really emotional connection with the character, with the audience, with the story. It's just the action.
I think if you liked the structure of Dark Phoenix, if you like the structure of Dark Phoenix, you're gonna like this one. But if you like the structure of Dark Phoenix, you're an idiot. So
the one good thing that I kind of got out of this is just the only time I really felt for the main character is the first 30 minutes of the movie. That was when the only time I was like 100% invested in the movie, and then after that it's
the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. So going to that, many ex machina moments, which for movies maybe 1 is good enough. Yeah. But I mean, there was like 6 examples, maybe even 10 that I can think of right now.
Any moment they could, they did.
Yeah, because of that, it just became an annoyance. It just kept repeating itself, and that's just not a good movie, if that happens in your movie the whole time. For the characters, there were really no hero's journey. There was no really character development in the end. You kind of have like a little hint in the beginning when you're introduced to the character. It'll be like, oh, she's a pretty interesting character.
A little hint.
Well, she's just, she's an interesting character in the beginning, and then it just falls flat, and there's no development after that, and you're just like,
it goes backwards.
The only thing I give this movie credit for is just how smooth the action was. I really like the choreograph behind it. It might have been just all CGI, but I still liked it. Yeah, and I think that's just a credit to the director and his film style. I think his name is Tim Miller. Yeah, the guy that did Deadpool. But the thing is that you kind of see the same action style that you get from the first Deadpool in this Terminator Dark Fate episode 150. So I didn't really get a good message or a theme to this movie. Not like examples of Jojo Rabbit. Had tons of messages and themes and just depth in the movie. Like the Joker movie had that same, like theme, message, depth.
Stuff outside of just action.
It was those movies were a little bit more artsy and original, while this movie it's been done. Kind of like Zombieland, it's been done. We don't need any more. Just stop it. Yeah, that kind of just ends my non-spoiler review of the movie. It's just not original.
That's a perfect jump-off point for me, because the thing I wanted to start out by saying is stop making the same movie again and again. So for those who don't know, this is the sixth. This is the sixth Terminator movie we have, and it feels like the 100th. And it's the same thing that you saw in 2, except the writing is so much worse. It's just the same thing. And as you know, I don't like non-creative things. I automatically give things a -1 when they're just a remake, even if they're good, like Lion King or Aladdin. I enjoyed those, but I gave them a -1 because it's just the same thing. It's not original. It's not creative. This goes to another extent because it's not only like it's trying to be creative, but it's doing the same thing. It's like if they made Aladdin, they were like, it's a whole new Aladdin, and then they made the Aladdin live action. You're like, wait a second, no, it's the same thing. That's what it is, except they lied. It's the same thing. Person A comes back in time to save person B, but person C comes back in time to kill person B. And, they're important to the future of the human race. It's the same exact thing. Like you pointed out, the character, like you start out liking her and then they try. It's like they try too hard to make you like her. So then you hate her. And then the only character I enjoyed was Arnold Schwarzenegger. But at the same time, I was like, I get it. You were in a movie. This is number 72 in the franchise. I've seen you before. I know. I remember. They do a lot of callback lines that are just the same point where it's like, I know. Every single movie you guys do, you have to say, I'll be back. And I get it. It's over. It's past. Honestly, this movie alone standing alone, if you haven't seen any of the Terminators, could be a 5, maybe even a 5.5. Unfortunately, it is the 127th time I've seen Terminator, so I'm giving it a 3. And it's because I'm just frustrated that you could just make the same damn thing and put a nostalgic name on it and just get people to watch it, which apparently you can't because it's doing pretty bad in the box office right now, thank God. And put James Cameron on it and be like, now we make money. No, it's trash. It's not good. Don't go see it. Even if you like Terminator, I would say don't go see it. You've seen it already and you've seen it better. Yeah, and we'll talk about in the spoilers things that could be better, things that should be better, things that did drive me off the characters and their motivations and stuff like that. But the thing you need to know in this review from me is that it's the same movie that they've done the last 5 times, and it's not any better. My ratings are 3. 3 and a 4 make a 3.5 Samurai review for Terminator Dark Fate. And especially with all the movies in the theater right now, you do not need to be going to see this one. Yeah. Go see something good. Joker, Harriet, Jojo Rabbit.
Even
better.
Gemini Man was better than that.
Gemini Man was better. Even though the graphics were worse, Gemini Man was better. And real quick before we flip over to the spoiler review, we're going to tell you how much better other movies in the theater are. So we also saw Harriet and Jojo Rabbit.
Let's start off with Harriet.
Okay.
And then I like to finish with Jojo Rabbit.
So real quick, Harriet, solid 8. Yep. Easy 8. Easiest 8 I've ever made in my life. It is not a normal movie. It's a biopic. So it's not going to be that artsy creative style that you want to see, creatively done in a movie. It's not going to break any walls, anything like that. It's just a really good story about something that happened. It stays relatively close to historical fact. There are moments in it that kind of are a little overdone, but again, we'll discuss that later. But for the most part, it is a really compelling, emotionally driven story. Acting is terrific. Cynthia Erivo plays Harriet Tubman. She does an amazing job. The director did a fantastic job. Scene work made you feel like you were in that time, in that, on that farm. It was really, really well done, as you can pretty much do a biopic. Yeah, I would definitely suggest to see it if you're big into history movies. 100% go see this one.
Yeah, there were some parts in the movie that kind of threw me off. Obviously discuss in the spoilers. And we kind of had a discussion about that, and we did a little bit more research, and things did pan out, and I didn't know, and I learned something from that movie, that, you know, being told as a kid, like, how, I don't know how many times, and then all of a sudden, like, you learn something a little bit more about it, kind of gives you that appreciation.
Shows you how little we talk about it and how much we need a Black History Month and stuff like that.
So them really touching on that, kind of getting really close to that content and, you know, that history, and actually relatively close. Like, it's really close. Yeah. Relatively close to, like,
it was closer than I was expecting.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little more fictional, but it was pretty accurate.
Going off of that, like what Brett said, you're not going to get an artsy type movie, because, you know, it's a story that's kind of been told.
It's a historical story, and they just want you to feel the impact of the effects that it had on our history,
and how realistic it shows on the screen. I liked it, because we really don't get that kind of stuff. Even though, like, The Greatest Showman, you're not gonna. That's not a real.
But it's great.
Historically accurate. It's a good movie. It's entertaining as F, but, like, if you want more, you know, if you want more of that drama and that history kind of side of it. Rating wise, I'm really on the edge, but I think it's gonna have to be an 8 for me. That movie deserves an 8.
It does. I think the historical significance carries it to that 8, and they handled it well. So yeah, so that's a samurai review of 8 for that one. So now Jojo Rabbit was the other one we saw, and this was our favorite one, no doubt.
I still have giggles.
Yeah, out of everything out right now, even including Joker, Jojo Rabbit is the one to watch, and it's because it has comedy, and it punches you right in the balls sometimes. Like, it
drops this big, huge.
Yeah, and you're kind of wondering. Anyways, I'm trying to save that for the spoiler discussion. But the thing is that movie just really encompasses a lot of societal elements, and I think Taika Waititi said it best when he was like, "It's kind of crazy that in this day and age I have to make a movie about Nazis," and it's like, it is damn true, and it was a great movie about Nazis. We're also going to probably look at some IMDb's and the spoilers, so check that out.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
We assume they're going to be great, but yeah, I really liked it. I don't want to say too much, because I think all you need to know is it's very funny at times. It's very endearing at times. The actors do a great job of making their characters as relatable as possible in this really weird situation, and it's a really good story. And it's really entertaining. So just watch it. Just go see it. Yes, my rating with that is an 8.5. It is a very good movie that I will remember for a while, and I'll probably watch again.
I'll probably watch it again too. Yeah. This movie definitely had all the qualities and characteristics that a movie should have. Character depth. Even the side characters were also amazing.
That was a big surprise for me.
You didn't get too much character depth in the imaginary Hitler friend, but, like, Jojo's mom, Scarlett Johansson plays, has depth. Even, like, Jojo's commanding officer that he works for,
Sam Rockwell, he's in a lot of stuff. He's really good in this.
Amazing. This story was definitely original. Waititi kind of said he got this idea from reading this book, and then he kind of just wrote out this other, like, story from it. So it's an original story, which just brings it up. And then obviously excellent writing. This has been in projects for I don't know how many years. I know Waititi's been working on this for, like, years, doing this. So he's definitely perfected that writing. If you're going to have all that time to kind of write a story like that. So acting was also amazing.
I can't think of a bad performance. And I'll get into it in the spoilers. I usually hate Rebel Wilson. I actually loved her in this.
Comedy was just on point for me. There was not a time where I'm just like, this is way too much.
And really difficult subject material to be funny about, but I thought they handled
it was what the comedy was well balanced in a way where it didn't just force it down your throat, or or
it
didn't
movie.
just like lay it back or anything. That was great, as well as transitioning from that comedy, that first part of comedy, and actually getting into the story in the end, which we'll get into the spoilers.
So that surprises you. They start off and you're like, oh, it's going to be a funny little movie. And then you're just like, what?
That transition into that story, and then you're already invested as it is with the comedy, and then you're emotionally all your just emotions just kind of you're invested in that after that. How smooth it really was just made it I just appreciated it way more as a filmmaker. And there were lots of payoffs and callbacks to some of the stuff in there, which we'll get into in the spoiler. Like I said with Terminator, how they didn't have any themes or symbolisms or anything like that, messages. This definitely had a ton of symbolisms. It definitely had message. It had tons of themes, parallels in it. And it was just he did it in a creative way. And you just got to give him props for that. Like, Waititi's now in my top 3 of like directors. So
might be my favorite. honest to God.
He does an amazing job. Amazing movie. I really was on the fence. I'm probably gonna have to give it an 8.5 as well.
I really want to give it a 9.
I wanted to give it a 9.
So potentially this could be a 9 later on. Like, this is one of those where you wait and you see what once it comes out and the director feels comfortable talking about every scene one by one and going like, this is what we did here, it could totally go up to a 9. Absolutely.
I'll probably watch it again because I probably missed a few things in there that I'm just like, I didn't kind of notice in the beginning. So if I watch it again and kind of really break down the movie a little bit more and pay attention to more things, it might bring it up.
So 8.5 for that one. 3.5, an 8, and an 8.5. Obviously, you need to not watch Terminator. Especially since Joker was also...
Please don't.
What was it, an 8?
Yeah, it was an 8.
Or 8?
Yeah, no, it was a solid 8. Yeah, everybody gave it an 8.
Yeah, so there's plenty... there's so many movies out there that you can see that are actually good. So please don't see Terminator, is what I'm trying to ask of you all. All right, that wraps up our shortened, hopefully, review of Terminator, Jojo Rabbit, and Harriet.
Yeah, sorry we kind of just smashed everything together.
Yeah.
It's just been...
But we're just trying to give you a little more accessible of a video to watch. And then if you do have the time or want to see more, we are going to do a discussion. You can just play it, listen to us. We're not going to do we might do some dances. But yeah, we're going to do a general podcast style discussion of these movies afterwards. So go ahead and watch that too.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you appreciated our non-spoiler part of the movie review. Be on the lookout for our spoiler part of review, discussion, podcast type style for the same 3 movies, Terminator, Jojo Rabbit, and Harriet.
Like, subscribe, follow Instagram, go check out the website because you can. And if you're looking for some good TikToks, I know a guy.
Yeah. This guy make TikToks.
Yeah, they're baller. It's a difficult to spell name. You can put it up if you want to. Boop. Yeah, there you go. Sensei of Physics. We will see you guys in the spoiler review.